This Week in Ames. I'm Susan Guiazda, and today's show we'll check in with our construction supervisor about the wrap-up of some local construction projects. Well, my guest today is Justin Clausen, construction supervisor for the City of Ames Public Works Department. Justin, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So we're getting towards the end of the year, and construction season is kind of coming to an end. You got a lot of projects out there. Tell me a little bit of just an overview about some of the things that you're doing.
Sure. We had a very good season. The light winter last year really helped get things kicked off. We got a lot of stuff completed last fall, which in turn left this spring kind of easy to start with. So we got a lot of projects done. Some of the places that we were in specific, we were in Campus Town along Stanton and along Ash Avenue. We got 2 new streets there. We'll continue to be there throughout next year as well.
And the Ash Avenue as well.
Yes, Ash Avenue was completely reconstructed from Knapp to Mortensen with a new bike path and everything on the side. That project went very well this year. We're also in South Highland as well in the Campus Town area. Some other places we were too along some of the collector streets, including Ridgewood and Meadow Lane. I know Ridgewood had a lot of public attention due to the proximity to the high school. We had the contractor complete the first phase of that this year, and then coming in the spring they'll go through the second and third phase. We'll take them north up to 16th Street, and at that time we're going to work with the school to make sure we don't have any congestion problems and stuff like that with the intersections.
And that area has gotten a little attention with the improvements made on Crescent as well, so it really looks nice.
Yes, it does, and it rides really well. I think we're really going to improve that area with the traffic flow coming in and out of the high school there. Some of the other places we went as well, we were downtown on Douglas Avenue, working with the library on their reconstruction with some of the work that we did. That project was let pretty late, but the contractor worked really well to get all of the underground work done. They put a new sanitary sewer, a new storm sewer, a new water main.
And now that street is open.
Yes, Douglas is open from 5th to 6th.
And people might notice it's reconfigured, a little different look to it now.
Yes, it has some what I call bubbles there to protect cars and pedestrians as they come down through there. And there'll be some new parking, some angled parking in front of the library when it's constructed. And then that project will continue in the spring as well. It'll go south from 5th to Main Street. It'll also go north from 6th Street to 7th Street.
So as it goes those other directions, will the people notice other kinds of design elements to them, or is it going to be more of a traditional?
The section from 5th to Main, will be similar to what was done in front of the library from 5th to 6th.
So more of the angle parking?
Yes, so a little bit more of that. There's not much room for angled parking there, so it'll probably more parallel parking still there, but some of the bubbles that we saw, that theme will continue down towards Main Street to tie in with the streetscaping that we did on Main Street. And then going north from 6th to 7th, it'll be traditional like we see around town.
And some of that streetscaping that is people might be familiar with in the downtown area is the colored concrete, the natural grasses, the bump outs, those kinds of things?
Yes, and we completed a large portion of that this spring as well on Main Street from 5th to Clark, from Clark to Pearl. Mm-hmm. That section there with a lot of the colored concrete to tie in the west end of Main Street down with the rest of Main Street to the east there. So that was a really successful project too. It turned out really well. We got a lot of good feedback on that.
It looks really nice.
Thanks. Some other places that we worked on this year too were some flood restoration projects. There's one going on right now on Squaw Creek at the pedestrian bridge that was demolished a few years ago in the floods. That is now open. And
that has definitely been one that's it's a crowd favorite. A lot of people are using that pedestrian bridge to cut some time off their journey, and I'm sure very happy to see it up and open now.
Yes, we've got a lot of positive feedback on that, and that project went really well too. The bridge is up. We've got some seeding to do in the spring, but for all intents and purposes, the bridge and trail can be used now.
And where does that bridge take you?
It connects from basically South Grand. You can get on there just down by Squaw Creek Drive, and then that goes down towards Greenbrier Park, and eventually ties into Southeast 16th.
So it can take you if you're heading north to Lincoln Center area,
yes,
for those people doing grocery shopping or whatever they want to do, basically getting them to a retail area and then back maybe to a residential area.
That's exactly right. Another area that people might have noticed we've been in here recently is along Elwood Pasture, north of Stuart Smith Park. There's been some trail reconstruction from the same flooding event. Some of the bank had eroded away in the floods, and the trail was basically washed into the creek. So we've added some riprap, which is basically large rock bank stabilization. Trail's been reconstructed. That was open early this week. So that trail is now reopened. On the opposite side of the Squaw Creek on Riverside Drive, there's going to be some sheet piling, which are large pieces of steel basically driven vertically in the ground. And that's there to protect the bank along Riverside Drive. And there's also some utilities over there. There's some water main that's kind of in jeopardy of being exposed if we get another large flood event.
Well, and that Riverside Drive had gone through a street reconstruction not too long ago.
Yes, I think probably 2 or 3 years ago, Riverside Drive was resurfaced as well.
And that bank was creeping closer and closer to that street, so it's sort of good to see that this stabilization project will kind of redirect that water.
Yep, and it's there to help protect that. One other visible project that people will probably notice here in the near future too is the southeast entryway. That is just about complete. There's going to be some seeding and some minor landscaping done in the spring. We had contractors install large concrete bases. Plate sculptures were installed on those, and there's 2 smaller sculptures on the exit ramp off Dayton Avenue.
And those really are an impressive entry. I mean, they really welcome vehicles into the community, and are really something special. I've never seen anything like them.
Yeah, I think the public's going to be really pleased with them when they see there's different sort of what I call light shows that they can do with them, different ways that they can configure those lights. So it won't just be like a street light out there. There's going to be some neat things, possibilities we can do with them.
And they're tall.
Yes, they are. I think they're 40 feet tall. So they're going to be visible from a long way. So it's a really neat way to bring people in off the I-35 into Ames.
Well, I've heard a lot of people say, hey, can we continue those at different entryway points? And certainly something to think about in the future.
Absolutely. That may be something to look at with the planning stages too, to see what we can do in the future to continue that theme.
Well, as we get into cooler weather, do all your projects wrap up and you just hibernate?
Well, yeah, I wish it was that easy. Yes, there's a lot of what I call cleanup paperwork that we necessarily don't get done during the season. Like we talked earlier, this fall was very fortunate. We got a lot of work done. And what that does is that doesn't allow us time to get some of our paperwork done. So now what we do is basically wrap up our as-built construction plans and all the rest of the documentation that takes place with that, and we get all that completed. And then we get ready for next year and start preparing for the spring for more construction work.
Well, and the spring comes sooner and sooner with our warmer winters. That work has been starting earlier and earlier. There really isn't much downtime anymore.
Yeah, there's really not. We'll spend time with the engineering department in the city hall to help them get ready for the new streets and new plans and what's upcoming and whatnot.
So you mentioned a few upcoming projects, finishing up some of those things around the high school, some downtown. Any other areas of town we're looking at next spring?
Some of that's still being planned right now. Every year there's a capital improvements plan that goes through. It's put together by the engineering department. It's reviewed with the city manager's office and with council, and we make recommendations to council. And they have some feedback back to us, and we make some changes. And they're just finishing that up right now. So I don't know all the exact streets where we're going to be at yet. But I know one major project that will happen next year, State Avenue will be reconstructed from Mortensen South to Oakwood Road. That is one that I know for sure will happen. That's a federally programmed project, so it'll have some federal DOT money in it. But then there are other streets around town that, as we get those details worked out, we can talk some more about that.
Well, I'd love to have you come back and give us the update.
It'd be great.
Well, thanks, Justin. It's always good to hear what the projects are happening and what's in the future. I know you're always busy, so I appreciate you stopping by.
Thank you much.
Well, as we enter the new year, it's right in the middle of budget process. Remember that the city budget meetings will be held in February. You can get more information on those specific dates and times on our website. Also, if you're still looking to do some holiday shopping, maybe after the holidays, we have discounted passes available for the Furman Aquatic Center and for the Ames Dog Park. Again, information on our website on those as well. Well, that's our show for today. Thanks for watching, and tune in next week for This Week in Ames.